We are here at Audioholics Live 2024 with DALI. That's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Hey folks, I'm Gene Delasala with Audioholics. We're here with Jason Zeidel. How you doing, Jason?
I am doing great. Thanks for giving us some time.
Jason, we had an awesome talk about food and Colombian culture and all that stuff, but you know, I came here to listen to speakers.
Oh no, business?
And we talked food, and someone that loves food as much as me, I know that they're gonna be appreciative of good audio, right?
Absolutely.
So we got to experience this new line of speakers from DALI, and originally when I came in here, they had 4 subwoofers going with the NAD electronics. I said, this sounds great, but I want to hear what these speakers can do on their own. And we listened to some Radiohead, Crushed in a Tin Pan something, in the sardine can, whatever the name of that song is. And I was just transported into the music. I heard deep, tight bass. In fact, a couple of people in the room were like, are the subs still on? They weren't on. So we had good, tight, clean bass, but more importantly, imaging was great. I heard a lot of width in the soundstage, and this is not an ideal room. Now, this is the exact experience that I heard probably 15 years ago when I reviewed a pair of your bookshelf speakers that had the same kind of tweeter array, a regular soft dome, and then an ultrasonic kind of ribbon tweeter. I love that sound. There's so much airiness in it. So I want you to give us a rundown. First of all, what is the name of the speaker? What is the series? And then let's talk about the driver technology.
I can do that for you. I love the description you had of how the speaker made you feel, because you always want an emotional connection with the speaker. That's really what I think sells it more than anything else. So I'm happy to talk about the speaker. There was a big evolution in DALI, started 3 years ago with KORE, the undefeated, undisputed heavyweight champion at a cost of only $120,000 a pair. The following year came something a little bit more street legal, the EPICORE, half the price at $60,000, showing that we can bring the technology down. And now the new Rubikore series integrates a remarkable amount of that. And this big tower here, coming in at only $12,000, has a remarkable amount of that technology.
All I could tell you is multiple times in my head, I'm thinking this is a fun speaker to listen to. And when I have that reaction, I know you guys have done some magic. And this is, again, this is not a great room. So I can imagine getting these into a acoustically controlled room like I have at Audioholics. These speakers would just put a smile on my face.
Absolutely. I'm sure you'll get a much different feel for it. But you know, a good signature of a speaker is being able to adapt to almost any room if you can. It's a challenge. Not every speaker can do it, but that is something that DALI does because of some of its technology.
Well, I was really impressed with the bass extension that we got in here, considering the room acoustics and position. And it was just, this speaker on its own can stand on its own and fill the room and have great sound. But now if someone can't put a big speaker, like it's not that big, a medium-sized speaker like this in their room, what other options do you have in terms of bookshelves or on walls? Let's talk about those.
Oh, great question. So what we're looking at here is the flagship model, the Rubikore 8. There is a smaller model which would have one less 6-inch driver in it. There's a pair of bookshelf models, that would be the Rubikore 2. There is a model called the Cinema. I don't think it's the best named because I like to stand it upright in a vertical position. And you can rotate the module so the ribbon stands on top. And then if you are going to do full surround, there is a model, the on-wall, that you can use as great surrounds.
I would tell you this, you could see this in the video, I think it's the most beautiful on-wall speaker I've seen. First of all, there's not many companies that are doing on-wall versions of their speakers, right? They're either flush mount or they have a box speaker and you have to put it on a bracket. The fact that you guys put the same driver tech on an on-wall that's easy to mount, and you radius the cabinet so it looks really pretty, and then you actually have different grill covers, right? You have a gray grill cover for the white, I'm assuming black for the black cabinet, but do you offer it in the other finishes as well?
We do. There actually is a distinct Grille color. This one does come in black. The walnut finish comes with a beautiful beige. The white speaker comes with a nice, cool gray grille. Now, I'll carry all the grills in stock just in case somebody says, yeah, they're gorgeous, but I want black anyway, because that's going to happen a lot. But I like the fact that they have that design. They're a Danish company, and this design is really leaning into their Scandinavian heritage.
Gotcha. Can you talk a little bit about why you have two tweeters in this series?
I can talk a lot about that, absolutely. So if we take a look at something like the high frequency module here, you'll see a ribbon and a soft dome tweeter. I call it the best of both worlds because both bring a lot to the table. A soft dome tweeter is known for its super smooth characteristics, really great power handling. It's got a lot going for it, but its dispersion starts to get a little directional around 10K. The ribbon, however, really opens up at 10K and then goes past our hearing, but that's what gives that big airy quality that everybody loves about a ribbon. So that's really one of the magical qualities about the Rubikore in particular, and it's actually something that is in the Core, the Epicor, and right on down to the Opticon series, the DALI signature high frequency module. The soft dome itself actually has something else cool going for it. It does not have ferrofluid in the gap. Really, really interesting quality. It just keeps it moving a little bit more freely, a little bit more open, and it's part of what DALI would call their low loss mantra.
Well, I noticed you have quite a big motor structure on the tweeter.
There is a big motor structure on the tweeter. It's interesting that you noticed that because a lot of companies will just typically use neodymium tweeters, and that's a nice small tweeter.
With no heat sinking.
With no heat sinking, exactly. The drawbacks to Neo, I mean, it's nice and small and it makes it not too heavy in the back of the tweeter for structural purposes, but it changes its magnetic properties as it gets hot.
Right.
And this is why we decide to go for a traditional ferrite magnet there.
And what that means is you could play the speaker low or loud and the frequency response should remain relatively uniform, so the sound experience should be the same.
That's a really great point because that is something that DALI strives for, again with their low loss mantra. Hey look, I like to turn it up loud as much as the next guy. But we do listen to quite often in ambient listening levels.
Right.
And it has to be just as dynamic at that level.
Well, one thing I noticed about how you set up the speakers in this room, and this is similar to my findings with your bookshelf 15 years ago, you don't do a lot of toe-in. In fact, there's no toe-in on this. And I think part of that is because of the way you guys implemented the two tweeters. Maybe you have that extra sparkle in that tweeter gives you the wider dispersion. You don't need to toe the speaker in. You could get a really expansive, wide soundstage for a wide listening area and still get the precise imaging when you're in the main listening position.
Absolutely. You know, DALI is an acronym that stands for Danish Audiophile Loudspeaker Industries, but we joke sometimes that it's also don't angle loudspeaker inwards. You want to keep it pointing straight ahead and you want to be in between that listening area. They're designed to excel off axis because this is how we listen. This is life. It has to integrate into a room, not an anechoic chamber. We want to make sure that somebody brings it home, enjoys it in their home.
So I think we should mention the fact that you got 4 subwoofers in here. Can you just give us a little rundown on the sub? I've never seen the subwoofer before, but it looks like it's serious. You look at the surround on it, this looks like a high output, high excursion sub, and it's not in a big footprint.
It is not a big footprint at all. It is very convenient. It is the DALI K14, 14-inch sub, 500 watts. We have 4 in this room, but sort of to your point, it's not that the speakers necessarily need them.
Yeah.
This was really to highlight some of the features out of the technology of the M66 and its DIRAC abilities. We love the subwoofer. It is powerful, and there are undoubtedly times where you're going to come across situations where you're going to want to reinforce some low frequencies, and DALI makes a sensational subwoofer.
So I want to just give a shout out to NAD because this is state-of-the-art electronics here. We did a review of the M23. I had to change the way I was measuring amplifiers just to measure how low the distortion and noise is on this amp. This is the best measuring amplifier in Audioholics history, and it uses a very state-of-the-art Purify module from Bruno Putzis, who's a genius in the industry. This is a beautifully crafted product. It could be run in stereo, it could be run in bridge mode. I believe you're running 2 of these, so you're doing a bridge to the speakers.
Exactly, because it's a show and it's fun to do and show the power that you can unleash. But you know, at Expona a couple of years ago, we were using the M33, which is the same type of power coming out of the M23, and it was driving the core. DALI likes to say, we're amplifier agnostic. Don't let the amplifier get in your way. We are a really easy load. We can drive the daylights out of, it can be driven comfortably by just about everything. But it also shows that DALI punches well above its weight.
Oh, for sure. So we are going to be reviewing the M66. We're in the process of doing that now. I just love the way this electronic system looks. It's just beautifully crafted. Best measuring performance you can get out of these boxes, and the fact that you could do streaming directly to this and run 4 subwoofer outputs with bass management and Dirac on board is really awesome. Jason, I really appreciate you dropping the knowledge on all of these great products. We have to get in some of these towers for review.
I want to get these towers in for review, so let's make sure we do that.
We will absolutely do that. Guys, don't forget we have affiliate links below if you're interested in purchasing any of these. We're at Audioholics Live. They're a channel partner here. If you like this video, please hit the thumb up, hit subscribe. Don't forget about our Patreon channel at patreon.com/audioholics. We appreciate your support. You get direct access to me if you want to suggest video topics. And until next time, my friends, keep listening.